Hey Stalwart fam!
Hello.
Welcome back to our channel!
Welcome back.
My name is Faith.
My name is
And
Michael.
we are
The
Stalwart
Stalwart
Lovers.
Lovers.
If you are new here, we're so glad you bumped into us and saw us. We are seeing us for the first time. We are so glad. Thank you so much for clicking, when you saw that thumbnail.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching this video.
Thank you for coming. We are so glad you came. I hope that you will subscribe. I'll watch more of our videos, interact with us, get to know us better, And if you're returning back, you're subscribed and you're coming back to watch another video.
Thank
Love
you so much.
Thank you for coming back.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So today's video is kind of unscripted.
Yeah.
It's just a very, very vulnerable video. I don't think we've told anybody before these things apart from ourselves.
Have
we really discussed it with anybody else?
Not really.
This deeply. So it's just unscripted. We just have some thoughts gathered in our head, but we weren't able to break down any thoughts or ideas.
So what are we discussing today?
Yes, we're discussing the age matter.
This age thing itself.
Yes. So we're discussing our age. We all
you guys did not allow us to rest in DMs and comments. How old is Sister B? What's your age difference? How old is Uncle Booth?
When did you? At what age did you get married?
At
what age did you start a relationship?
Does it matter that much?
Well, yeah, because it matters. We're actually going to be talking about it and
anyway, you guys are family
some of these
already.
Questions.
So but the first thing I wanted to say, as you can tell from the title, is that yes, I lied about my age, and I don't mean the age that I just went public with. I'm 28 years old, legit. All right, I have my birth certificate, international passport to prove that.
Driver's license.
Yeah. So, but growing up, I lied about my age for many years.
Yeah.
I actually did. And it's something. It's
how many years do you always add?
Sometimes 2, most times 2, basically.
Did you ever add 1 year?
1 year, no.
Okay,
1 year,
3 or 2, have you?
2 safe. Basically just 2. I just lied that I was 2 years older. And this was how it happened. I've been lying about my age since I was in primary school. I remember being in primary 3 and being 7 years old. And that's ridiculous. So, but I was smart. I was one of the best students in the class. I could handle the academic pressure. So a lot of my friends were 9 and 10, so I just lied that was my age too, because I didn't want to face the social pressure of being the small boy in class. So I kept that from my parents. If they had known, they would have maybe advised me better, because my dad, of blessed memory, miss you, Dad. He always beefed me up. So if I had told him my struggle, he would have, of course, beefed me up. But I didn't. I kept it to myself.
Yeah.
So especially in secondary school, lie, and I suffered for it, and I'll tell you.
Guys,
this
is a confirmed story time. Just sit back.
I suffered.
Go ahead.
Today's my video, you guys. I suffered for that. I kept lying about my age from primary school. Always telling people I was 12 and I was 10, because I actually looked 12. And I acted 12. In fact, people that were younger than me were just. People that were my age mates were just too small.
They look too young to you.
And also because I never really admitted that I was that age.
Yeah.
If you ask me my age, by default, I give you +2. Default. Back then. And then when we were in secondary school, I faced a lot of self-esteem issues. And this is that was then anyway.
Yeah, that was then.
I faced a lot of self-esteem issues, and that was why when I was able to overcome it, you could not break me. Nobody could break me again. And that was what made me very tough. Almost too tough sometimes, that I have to tell myself, guy, calm down. It's not that hard. Because once you come against me to ridicule me, to despise my youth, to make me feel low because I'm young, I come with you with violence. Because yes, literally, and I've had that I come with you with violence. So if I come at you, thank you, baby. I come at you with violence. So if you are someone that you are very age-centric, you treat people less because they are younger than you. You treat people high because you think that they are older than you. Age is just the reason why you give respect, or not you're not going to have anything to do with me, legit.
Yeah.
because I faced too much of that.
Yeah.
Even though I lied that I was 2 years older, I was still among the younger ones in my set.
Mm-hmm.
I was in GS3, 11 years old, and I had 18 years old classmates, 15 years
Wow.
old classmates, and I was their class captain. Do you understand how that
Yeah.
is? So they
Like,
couldn't afford to know how old I was. I just
like,
couldn't afford to let them know. Maybe sometimes I tell some very close friends and they will laugh at me like, you must be kidding.
yeah, you must be
You
kidding.
know. Let me tell you an experience. In GS3, I was class captain.
How old were you then?
11.
Okay, 11.
10, 11. So I was 10 in GS3.
Wow.
Stroke.
As a GS3, I was still 12. Yes, I was 12.
What do you small? And I'm talking about 2004, 2005. So it's nowadays you see a lot of young people graduating secondary school at 14.
Yeah.
In our own
yeah.
days, they happen.
It
So I
wasn't
was like
happening.
the real gem. I left secondary school at 14. I was 14 in September. I wrote my WAEC in April. So I was purely 14.
You were 14 in February.
Yes, February. What did I say? I said September. Okay,
Yeah,
my other birthday is September because you and I were one. I was 14 in February, and I wrote my WAEC in May. So I was still 13 in SS3.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was really, really. So this lady, people submitted their exercise books, to me, and I went to the class teacher, submitted to the class teacher. She was marking our notes, and then she gave me back. I came to the class and she distributed the exercise books. And then this lady who was, I think, 18 or 20 years old came and told me that she couldn't find her exercise book. And I'm like, okay, so what do you want me to do? I got it from the class teacher and I shared it. So what do you want me to do? And she threatened me that if by tomorrow she comes to class and I don't give her an exercise book or a fully completed exercise book, that I will be in big trouble. Throughout lesson period that day. Throughout lesson period, the lesson teacher was teaching us. I was busy copying from my Yoruba, from my own notes to a brand new note. My lesson notes at that time. Brand new note from first time to I think third time or something.
Wow.
And the next day I gave it to her. She said, "Oh no, you are like, now God save you." I was that traumatized by all the big people around me, So it took me some serious beefing up to be able to stand up to my mates. I had friends and I used to laugh at one of them. I will not mention his name right now. I used to laugh at him because we were one of the shanko, very short people in class then. But and there's this, I went to a public school, so if you fart, for example, and we catch that you fart, everybody will start beating you. So you just duck your head and everybody's beating you, right?
Wow.
So when that happens, I always stay away. Because if I join in beating you, I'm the one that will be the victim. So there's this guy.
The one that the person will now want to take revenge on.
Yes, so whenever I join them in that, and it's me that he will chase because he knows that he will catch up with me and he will beat me up. Legit. So I always just stayed away. I was always scared of being victimized,
Yeah.
Even at that, they didn't know I was 2 years younger, right? So a lot of things, a lot of terrible things. I remember wishing that I had pimples so that I could match up with the adolescents. Thank you, match up with the age of my classmates. Like the first
because
time,
everybody at that time,
puberty, the same people that everybody does not want to get on their face. There were days when we used to desire it, Lord, just the people, just for people, Lord. I remember that this is a very funny story. I remember having my first pimple, and I told my mom, I need money for Nixodam. I have pimples on my face. If you don't know Nixodam was like the pimples cream in those days. Do you know Nixodam?
Well, I didn't use it.
You see, I'm not your mate.
No, I just allowed I didn't use anything.
No, but you do not even know it. Nixodam was green, one small green, whitish cream.
That
green
you rub
cover.
on your face and your face stays white.
You've not heard
I know Ponds.
You've not heard the last of it, babe. So I bought Nixodam. I had just very few pimples on my face then. I bought Nixodam. Then I used it. Then I went to visit my friend.
With it on your face.
With Nixodam on my face. Just so that my friend can see that I'm treating people. So, like, I feel embarrassed just saying this. Literally.
Yeah.
It's really, really childish, right?
Okay, so at what point did you now, get to the point, that, okay, this is my actual age. Because you actually you've told me before that you actually made a mistake on WAEC or stuff
Yes,
like
I
that. You
actually
wrote.
put. Let me. We had to register for our WAEC in the public.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually wrote the same +2 age because everybody was doing it in public, and I didn't want at my final year in secondary school for people to now realize that I'm much younger than all of them. So I wrote the same fake age, thinking that I would go and correct it after in private. So they kept telling us that come and correct anything that is wrong in your work now for 5 naira. If you know what 5 naira cost me my lifetime. So 5 naira, blah blah blah. And I just I couldn't get myself to do it. So I wrote my work like that, and I passed very well. And I had to use, that age. But long story short, I did restitution when I was in school. I wrote to school, corrected my age,
You
tried to
just
change my WAEC.
kept correcting it
It took me a lot of
to actually
stress
wipe out
to have a WAEC result that had my original age.
Yeah.
So, but that's in the past. So the point of my acceptance, because I know I used to struggle with admitting that I was that age. I remember asking my mom at age 15, that mom, are you sure?
You didn't make
Are you sure there's
mistake
no
in my
mistake
age?
on my birth certificate? I don't know if my mom can remember if you are watching this. Are you sure there's no mistake on my birth certificate? Because I don't understand. I don't look 15. I don't think 15. When I see 15-year-olds, they look like babies to me. I'm serious, that bad, But when I was in university, my roommate then, Leon Shion, I was in 200 level.
Yeah.
So that was the turning point for me. He just said one thing that changed my ideology.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't even know.
He doesn't. I'm not sure he knows. So I was supposed to fill a form for a church choir, and there goes the question I dread most in my entire life: how old are you? Or date of birth? Like I literally am insecure about it.
Yeah.
Until of course that time. So I was like, but this is church. I can't lie again. Like I was already getting to know the Lord and getting serious. So I now told him that I don't want these people to know my age. It was not like, come on, your age is your identity.
Yeah.
It's part of who you are. Like if you are not that age, then you are not Michael Fabi. And it just dawned on me that wait,
why
you're so right.
like why shouldn't they know how old you are?
No, whether they have to know or not, that's a different thing. I never accepted the age.
So you accepted it yourself.
Yes, it's like being black and always
saying you're white.
Believing that you are white.
Yeah, I get that.
It's
like a serious
being
identity
black is
crisis.
part of who you are. It's an identity crisis, literally. I'm like, wait, this is part of who I am. This is my definition. Do you understand? So I wrote that. What I did was I didn't put the year, so I just put the day and the month. When we were doing the auditioning, when I told you, said in choir we always what's the year. I had to tell her. She wrote it there in capital letters.
Bas.
But the reality is that from that day I decided that no, if you ask me how old I am, I'd probably not tell you. I'd rather not tell you than lie. So the lie ended. In my 200 level, it ended. I never lied again. So from there, I started telling a few of my friends. I started breaking the secret. Because it was a secret that was locked in a vault. Yes. So I started telling a few friends, just say jokingly, they say, you are young. I said, yes, so, And because I've admitted it and accepted that as my identity, it wasn't now that difficult to tell people once in a while. But it was still a matter. Like if I'm in a conversation and everybody's talking about age, I will just be very quiet. So I will not ask you your age so that you not ask me my age. Not like I don't want to lie, so don't bother asking. And if you ask me how old I am, I'll probably just say now, wow, I'm very young. I'll just say I'm very young.
Anyway, let me
Take
jump in
for a bit, yeah.
Yes, let me jump in. So I have a little story as well, but not as much as my husband.
Oh yeah, now talk to us.
So I was actually quite open about my age. Like if you ask me how old I was, I would literally tell you my actual age. In fact, for me, mine was worse because I was like, I looked 3 years older when I was. So like when I entered university,
people used to assume that I am 3 years,
exactly
4 years older than my age.
Before they even ask you, they've assumed already.
Yeah.
Like when I was in entering 100 level, I was 16 in 100 level, like powerfully 16. If I got the admission as when I was 15, but when I resumed school, I was powerfully 16. And at that time, I asked somebody, how do you think I am? The person said, I think you're 19 or something. She was so sure.
Eh,
And when I don't know if she'll remember because she watches our videos a lot. And when I told her, I was like, I'm actually 16. And she was like, how are you 16? I
How?
guess I was just really mature. Like,
Or physically
yeah.
looking.
And God
And your strong
really,
face.
yes, yes. There are different reasons for that. God was taking charge of my life. So it was directing me. I was
Your
acting, I was
decision making
thinking,
was
yeah, my
there.
decision making, my life. I was so serious about my future, about God, about what I wanted for my life.
Yeah.
So it's that seriousness was very obvious. And then I actually was looking serious. Like
This is my life.
I
Man.
didn't used to smile as much as I smiled now. Like I was a pure melancholy.
Thank God for Uncle Boo your life.
So I looked older. If I used to look older than my elder sister, my elder sister is 3 years older than me. I used to look older than her. So for a while I was also like older, but I didn't have a problem, shocking people with the fact that I'm actually young. So
For
I'm
you, it was
actually
even
young.
a delight.
Yeah.
Like your
But
Facebook page was public.
yeah, my Facebook it was
Look,
public.
I'm the kind of person that registered for Facebook. I put 1969 or 1960.
Yeah. So, but when that changed, of course, when I entered a relationship with my husband, and then the age conversation came up. When you're in a relationship, so many
You talk about
conversations will
everything.
come up. So the age conversation came up, and it was like, no, you cannot just be telling people your age. And as at that time, I don't think you were necessarily fully off the insecurity, but you were off it.
No,
actually.
I had been off it.
But you just were trying to tell me like you don't have to be telling people your age like that. Like people don't have to just know your age.
No.
I mean, and to me, I was like,
Why
bruh,
not?
your age is your age. Come on, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then when I started to see his point was when as at that time when he was talking to me, I was still younger. But when I got to like 500 level, as 500 level, I was 20 to 21 or so, and I would have people around me that were either older than me or my age in 200 level
Much younger
or
levels.
300 level,
Yes.
much younger levels. And not that I'm looking for respect, but in order to maintain my sanity, in order to
And your
maintain
own
my
dignity
self-respect
self,
and
your
my
self-respect,
dignity,
yeah.
I realized that these people cannot afford to know how old I am.
How young you are.
How young, yeah, or how young I was. I was like, no. And I was at Expo fellowship. That wasn't even a problem. I mean, in the fellowship, they could even know. But I mean, I ended up not really telling anybody per se.
You just realize that you are beginning
I
to
just
keep
realized
your
that
age confidential.
confidential,
Because
yeah.
it actually is. To some extent. Like, it's a confidential
But it's not really
information.
something that
But
anybody
it's not a
cannot
big
just
deal.
know. It's not a big deal.
Yes, it
You
is.
can slip up. You can slip out in a conversation. In fact, you can make it public. You can say, "I am 28 years old today." There's no big deal about your
Yes.
age. I mean, you just realize that you can actually talk about this thing on your birthday or something. There's really no big deal about this age thing. But I just realized that some people might actually now, the balance there is you're not lying about your age, you're not insecure about your age, but because of the way some people would actually start to treat you
That's the
or
problem.
start to react to you because you're this certain age, just makes some people literally do not believe in you just because they know how old you are.
That's
Or some
the
people
problem.
don't see some capacities that you have just because of a particular age. So it made me tend to, and I understood this point finally, that okay, now I get what
You
he
get
was trying
what?
to
Yeah.
say. Yeah.
I think that it's a traditional thing. I don't know if it's African, but I know for sure it's Nigerian. It's like a social classification. You meet somebody and from what you see in their life, you respect them. But then you find out that you're older than them and you begin to misbehave. It's a very, very wrong way to think. In case you're like that, change your ways, right? Give people the honor and the respect they deserve from what you see in their life. All right. Apart from your mutual respect for everybody. That's why I was very interested in Pastor Aaron's, testimony. And he mentioned it too, that, I mean, it's not a big deal, but it's a traditional or, African thing to read. So, the moral of this story is that if you're young and you find yourself in a situation where it seems as if everybody is treating you wrong because you're young, beef up your own self-esteem, make sure that no one despises your youth, and accept it. You are young and that is okay. It's okay.
It's okay
In fact,
to be young.
people that treat you differently because of it, they are actually envious of the fact that you have so much more time to do certain things. In fact, you are achieving so much in your own young life than they've achieved in their old life. And sometimes they put their own insecurity on you and then treat
Yeah.
you
Or
differently.
they try to compare. I mean, where was I at this particular age? I was just playing.
Yes.
And then you are also serious.
And you're already making
about
millions,
something.
and they're like, and your mother goes, what are you doing? Why are you doing all these things?
Anyway, so that brings us to the question and answer part, or to the part where we answer some questions we've been asking.
Yeah.
So, as everybody knows, my husband is 28.
Proudly.
Yes, and I'm 24.
Yes,
yeah,
baby.
I became 24 in September 2021. I mean, I'm going
So
to be
you'll be
25.
25 this year.
Yeah, this year.
So to answer our age difference is 4
3
years.
3 years,
Hello?
8 months. 3
Hello?
years, 8 months.
4 years. I'm not your mate. I'm not
it's
your
not
mate.
about 4 years. You can't-
Please. Hello?
Wait,
Please.
guys, wait. Mm-mm. Please put in the comments. If we say 3 years, yeah, if it says 4 years, which one is more correct? 4 years or 3 years and 8 months?
Okay, fine.
Which one is
Technically,
more correct?
right now, how old are you? How old are you right now? Answer.
I am 24
Stop.
years,
Stop.
6 months.
We always have these arguments. All right. Right now you're 24 and I'm 28. That's
24
4 years
and
difference.
6 months.
Hello, hold
You
on.
are 28 and 2 months. I mean,
Hold
1
on.
month.
Hold on. Let's not argue. All right. I know that yes, the interval in our age is 3 years and 8 months, but it's approximately 4 years.
Whatever.
Basically, like I like I mean all numbers now. You can't be doing decimal.
Whatever.
It's like saying that someone you are born December 1998 and someone is born January 1999 or February 1999. You just 3 months apart. You are feeling older than the person because your age says 98, the person says 99. Oga, if they do my close share,
Whatever.
But I feel like it's fine. It's 3 years and 8 months here, of course. But then it will take you 8 months to be 3 years younger than me.
Whatever.
And then
At least
another,
there's a period in time.
I'm 4 years older than you for 8 months.
At least there's a period in time. There's a period.
When
I
you
mean,
balance
all
it,
the way
right?
from September to February.
It's 3 years, I mean. It's fine. Just say, what's our age difference? Sometimes 3, sometimes 4.
Yeah, that's serious.
Anyway, so that's it.
Sorry that took so long.
It's fine.
Anyway, and then the other question, okay. When did we get married?
No, when did we go into a relationship? People ask that a lot.
Okay. So we'll just start from when we met, when we got into a relationship, when we got married, and blah, 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 like that.
Yeah, so how old were you when we met?
Yeah, so I was about to be 18. I was 17.
When we started talking.
No, we started
Not
talking.
really when we met.
Not
When
really
we met, you were purely
I was 17.
And I was...
Yes, we met. We started talking in...
I was 20, 21.
21,
I
right?
graduated at 20.
Yeah.
Come on.
So... yeah, so I was 17. Then, when we started talking, I was almost 18. So...
When we started talking and phone number, you were almost 18. Like,
yes,
you were
I was
18 in the
already
next month.
In the next month, yeah.
Yeah, and I was still 21.
Yeah.
So that's the time of
Timeline.
3 years.
Whatever.
Yeah, and then we started a relationship when she was still 18,
going to 19.
about to be 19 so it was July, so she was still far from 19.
Yeah,
Like
in
3
July,
months or
3 months
so
to 19.
far.
So
And
I was 18.
was
Let's just say I was
22.
18 when we
I was
started.
22, and then we got married when I was 25 and she was 22.
Yeah.
That was December.
Yeah.
Court wedding.
Court wedding.
Then
normal.
elaborate big
elaborate
wedding
one.
was I was 26.
Yeah.
You were still 22.
Yeah, I was still 22.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was when we got married. And then, of course, what else? That's all now.
That's all. I'm 28,
basically.
she's 24.
Yeah, basically.
That's it. So some of you that have stressed me in DMs with this question, I hope you are happy now. I will not mention your name, even though I know your names. I hope you are happy now.
Yeah,
Alright.
so if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Yes. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for?
Just
Please
subscribe already, alright? Subscribe.
Yes, and drop a lovely comment. I mean, were you shocked? Were you like, yeah, I expected
What's your
it.
reaction?
I know
Yeah.
they're young. Just tell us your reaction. Every single one of you, okay? Tell
Yeah,
us
I
your
want
reaction.
to know you. Every one of you.
Everybody-
I'm not surprised. Let me know. You are surprised. Let me know. You are shocked. Let me know.
Let me know.
You are flagabated. Let me
Anyone.
know. You are constipated. Let me know. All right, but let me just put it out here, right? That if you find yourself in a situation where you are treating people differently because of their age, please change.
Yeah,
It's a
just
very
change.
wrong thing to do. It's a stereotypical way of thinking. God bless you.
All right, guys. So till we come over again,
Keep loving.
and follow us on Instagram. Yes. So till we come over again,
Keep loving.
and keep believing.
We are the
The
Stalwart
Stalwart
lovers.
lovers.